there's a second language out there that human beings are continually expressing, and you want to make yourself sensitive to it, because the degree that you can begin to piece together this puzzle will have tremendous power in the social realm. Well, something that I wrote a lot about in the Laws of Human Nature, I want to talk briefly about, is the idea of nonverbal communication, of the ability to decipher people, the people that you deal with on a higher level, because we are social animals. To the degree that you walk around in this world, not really understanding the people around you, not really reading their signs, not really knowing what they're feeling or what they're thinking, puts you at an incredible disadvantage. You're like groping continually around in the darkness. And it makes you unhappy because it creates all kinds of drama in your life where you're continually misreading the people around you. You hire somebody based on their apparent charm. You discover that they're actually a toxic personality, and it can ruin the dynamic in your company. You can get involved in a relationship with someone who seems very loving and giving, and then they turn out to be a raging narcissist. It creates years of trouble and trauma for you. So understanding people on a deeper level in a dimensional way is incredibly important. And what I tried to emphasize, in particularly in the Laws of Human Nature, is that humans have two languages. You are obsessed with one language, which is words. You are continually fixating on people's words. And everything we know about words is we can lie. I can tell you right now here on camera that I am, the most brilliant person in the universe. Or I can tell you something else, that I can dunk a basketball. I can say whatever, but it's an outright lie. I can say whatever I want. Words are actually a form that can be used for a great weapon for deception. Okay, but there's a second language that is not very much harder to express deception in. And it's not just a language of the body, it's also a language of gesture and behavior. So I want you to start thinking in this way. I want you to start thinking there's a second language out there that human beings are continually expressing, and you want to make yourself sensitive to it, because the degree that you can begin to piece together this puzzle will have tremendous power in the social realm. You won't get dragged into all of these needless dramas that will weigh you down and that will cause you sleepless nights. You'll be able to influence people on a higher level. You'll get them to be more interested in your ideas. You will be able to pierce their defenses. You can't read other people's minds. I don't know what you're thinking right now out there. Of course, I don't even know anything about you because you're invisible. But if you were here right now, I wouldn't be able to read your thoughts. But I can sense your moods, your emotions. We humans have that power. So let me guide you very briefly through that and how you do that. The most obvious way is the face. Okay? You need to pay greater attention to people's facial gestures, to people's facial behavior. So the eyes generally express authentic emotion and surprise and excitement by the way that they open, right? And we've all experienced people who have what I would call dead eyes, right? So something I've noticed a lot with people who are incredible narcissists. Narcissists can sometimes give you the impression that they're really, really interested in your ideas, right? They seem to maybe have a degree of empathy. They're listening to you. They're letting you talk. Oh, they can't be a narcissist. But pay attention. Their eyes will give them away. While they seem to be talking to you and their eyes are not engaging with you. There's something dead about them. There's a discrepancy. You are looking for discrepancies in facial expressions. The eyes say something, but the mouth says something else, right? People are smiling. A fake smile. A fake smile has the mouth going up, but the eyes aren't, the whole face isn't kind of showing excitement. It's not going across the entire face. You're looking for like something that doesn't quite fit, where there's excitement in their voice, but there's nothing happening on their face, okay? So be attentive to these signs. to the signs of genuine emotion. So when somebody really smiles, when somebody's really happy, when somebody's really interested in your ideas, their whole face tends to become animated. You don't see like one part is kind of dead and quiet and the other part is animated. The whole face, because we cannot control that part. When you're genuinely interested in it, everything lights up and you can't fake it, all right? Read people's tone of voice. People's tone of voice will tell you if they're sincere. It'll tell you whether they're deceiving you. It will tell you whether they're full of fear or not. Actors have learned over centuries that they can control to some degree their face, to mold it to a certain degree to show certain emotions, but it's very hard to control the voice. Very difficult. So people reveal a lot of their actual excitement or their lack of interest through how they talk, their tone of voice. I don't have to go into great detail about it because you know it, you sense it. You're continually feeling these things day in and day out. You go in a meeting and you think people were interested in you and such, and you go out and you go, I don't know if that went so well. And when you have that doubt, it's because you probably sensed on the nonverbal level that people seemed interested, but their bodies weren't showing that they were, that their voices weren't showing it. You can trust those kinds of opinions. Okay, so body language is extremely important. Books have been written, forests have been felled for paper for these books about how to read body language. The thing you don't pay enough attention to are people's actions and gestures. One thing that I've always noticed that's very telling is how people say goodbye. When you're in a meeting or you just had lunch with someone, you've met them for the first time, are they kind of quick to get out of there? Is their goodbye sort of perfunctory? Do they really want to cut it off and get the hell out? Or is there this kind of thing of where they want to go on and on and on and on, right? How people say goodbye, how they end a telephone conversation, how they end an email, how they end a meeting or a lunch tells you a lot about how they feel towards you. It's very eloquent. It's either, I'm impatient, I really want to get away from this person. I really want to communicate as little as possible. Or no, I want more of them, etc. So pay attention to that level. Pay attention to the tone in people's texts and emails. Believe it or not, you think you can read everything just by in-person communication, but you can read a lot through texts and emails. People reveal a lot of their excitement, their emotion, their interest in you, and who they are, and how they write even a simple text. Okay? I'm continually aware when I read people's work, like somebody in a newspaper or a book, I can tell how much of a narcissist, how big their ego is by the way that they write. So a narcissist will reveal him or herself in their writing style by all kinds of flowery, extravagant language that seems very interesting and very exciting. All these kind of wild metaphors, and you go, wow, that's kind of interesting. But then if you think about it, their ideas are really rather empty. There's nothing there. They're trying to sort of impress you with their verbal pyrotechnics. There's a columnist for the Washington Post. He's on the conservative side. I don't hold that against him. His name is George Will, very famous. His writing is so much involved in impressing people with how all of his illusions about history, all of his little verbal little nicks and cleverness, that I know for certain that if I ever met George Will, this guy is an insane narcissist. So you can read these kinds of things by the way people write, and they reveal it in their texts, they reveal it in their emails, they reveal it in their articles that they write. Look at whether people are on time, their relationship to time. Are they people who procrastinate, right? Who you've given them a task to do in 1 week and they take 2 weeks, etc., and then they have an excuse. Their relationship to time reveals something very deep about their personality, whether they are conscientious, whether they think, whether they're other-directed or they're inner-directed. It's all about me. I can take however long I want. I can be 5-10 minutes late. It doesn't matter. This is really just about me. You're not paying attention to these details. Everything that people do, how they drive, how they write something, how late they are, It's all a language, and the more you can pay attention to this. I also tell people giving job interviews, right? Don't pay so much attention to what people say, but to look at how uncomfortable they are in certain situations. So you pose a question on them that you're hoping they don't know the answer to in a job interview. You're kind of putting some pressure on them. You're asking a question that comes a little bit from left field. Okay, do they like double down and act like they know the answer and they kind of make something up on the spot, kind of bullshitting their way through? Or are they going to go, you know what? I never thought of that. I don't really know the answer to that. I'll have to think about it. That's a sign of somebody who's actually more intelligent and more interesting. They don't have these incredible insecurities. They'll be able to take criticism. So on and on and on. And the idea is you're walking around, it's like a flat screen. People in your life are like one-dimensional, and you're projecting onto the screen your own ideas about them, your preconceptions, prejudices. You're seeing into people what you want to see into them. You don't understand who they are because they are just this one-dimensional figure to you. To the degree that you do what I'm saying, you try to enter their world, you try to see their moods, you try to figure out what they're thinking, what their world is about. You're suddenly opening up dimensions. You're seeing them in 2 and 3 dimensions, and they become a human being. And you have the kind of understanding that will lead to greater social intelligence, which in this world is the key to any kind of power. So that's all.